Guys, it's DK back at you in another video here for Game 3 of the NBA Finals Showdown slate between Golden State and Toronto. Real quick, let's see how we did for Game 2. So, the big news here was DeMarcus Cousins getting announced starting. Once he got announced starting, I was all over him, put him on my captain. If you guys don't follow me on Twitter, it's really important to follow me because I did tweet that out before the game started. I really like DeMarcus Cousins here. I think he's at 5.4K. So slided him as my captain, and then went with Steph, who was a little disappointing. It was Clay had one of those games where he just took over and was not missing. I did say, he's probably going to have one of those in the finals, and that was Game 2. Iguodala, he was the value guy I liked. He was a little too cheap. Kawhi, obviously, a spend up. And then Kevon Looney. So if you guys watched video Game 2, you guys knew I did not like Kevon Looney at all. He was too expensive. Obviously, he got injured, too, in 10 minutes. So the way roster construction worked after DeMarcus Cousins got announced starting, I rearranged things, put him in my captain. I had like 6.2K remaining or something like that, and it was either Kevon Looney or Fred VanVleet. Or I guess what I should have done is gone really cheap and with Ibaka and not use like $2,000 worth of salary and had a unique lineup. But the reports I was reading were it was basically DeMarcus Cousins and Kevon Looney splitting the center minutes. So I was just playing kind of the safe route and, playing them both here. Again, I had the salary to play Looney, so that's kind of why I did. I just played the safe route. And obviously, again, he got injured, so that didn't work out. Kyle Lowry, he was also a little disappointing. Fouled out as well, only played 28 minutes. So a little unlucky there. But, injuries, foul trouble. Can't really predict that. So let's see if we can get a W on the board here for Game 3. All right, so we got some big injury news here for Game 3 here. KD still out, and then Klay Thompson listed as questionable. So he thinks he's going to play, but Golden State's still listing him as questionable. So, that's obviously really big news. Kevon Looney, he's out for the rest of the playoffs. He got injured, so that's also pretty significant news. And that's about it for injury news. So let's just jump right into it. Okay, so if Klay Thompson's going to be out here for Game 3, again, this is questionable. If he's out, I'm just locking in Steph Curry and I'm locking in Draymond, putting one of those two in my captain, and then going from there. That's going to be pretty easy. Now, if Klay Thompson plays, I still like Steph here at 11.6. I know he's a little disappointing last game. I still like Draymond here at 10.6. So yeah, those two, I still would like them even if Klay plays. If Klay misses, Draymond and Steph Curry are locks to me. And then Kawhi Leonard here, he's at 11.8. So yeah, he had the not that good of a game 1. Came back and killed it here in Game 2, put up 60 fantasy points. The offense revolves around him, so I have no issue with Kawhi here. But again, if Klay's going to be out, I'm going to prefer to get Steph and Draymond in my lineup first. Compared to Kawhi, but I'm considering, there are a couple value guys that are in play here. I'm considering playing all three again, so definitely got to consider Kawhi, obviously, here at 11.8. Siakam here at 9.4. So if you guys watched my Game 2 video, you knew I preferred Draymond to Siakam. Siakam's he's so inconsistent. And again, the inconsistencies here of Game 1, 55, Game 2, 29. Again, I didn't expect him to shoot that well. Came back to earth. So I think he's okay, but still, I'm going to prefer I'll pay the extra $1,200 for Draymond any day here over Siakam. I don't really have an issue with Siakam. It's just I prefer Draymond at a somewhat similar price point. Klay Thompson here at 8.4. So again, he was limping noticeably in Game 2 there. Obviously didn't return. Got injured about midway through the fourth. So this is tough. Obviously he had a big game here in Game 2. He shot the ball really well, 10 of 17. The hamstring injury is concerning because he's going to be running around screens a lot, going for those threes. So if he's going to be limping at all, that's going to concern me. But I think the ownership is going to drop significantly on him just because, again, there is some risk. So if you want to play at that aspect and play a lower owned Klay Thompson, I don't mind that at all. Am I going to go there if he plays? Honestly, probably not. Um, but again, I think the ownership is gonna be really low on him. Kyle Lowry, so again, he was a little disappointing there in game two. Did foul out. Fred VanVleet really took over and played really well. So that's a little worrisome with Lowry. I mean, obviously they do run those two out there a lot together. Um, Lowry played great defense in game one, but again, just was kind of non-existent there in game two. 7.6. I think he's okay. But right now, I'm probably leaning more towards the stars and scrubs approach. Um, so don't know if I can go Lowry. And then Boogie, he's one mid-tier guy that I do really like here at 7.2. So there's no Kevon Looney. So that secures somewhat significant minutes here for DeMarcus Cousins. Played 28 there in game two. So with no Looney, it's basically Boogie. And then, they got Bogut, they got Bell, they got Jerebko they can give some minutes. I think all three maybe, split the rest of those minutes. They could even run a little small ball if they want, but Toronto has shown they want to run big with Gasol out there, with Ibaka as well. So I think Golden State is going to need a center out there most of the time. So DeMarcus, I would like it if he was a little cheaper here at 7.2, but this guy, he's just going to produce when he's out there. He's a high usage guy, so I do like him a lot here in the mid tier. Marc Gasol at 6.6. He's going to play probably right around 30 minutes. They're going to need him out there to guard Boogie. He's also been a little up and down. He has flashed some upside, but if I'm going to pick between the two of DeMarcus Cousins and Marc Gasol, I'm just going to lean towards Boogie there. Obviously, there is foul trouble concern with Boogie. He does seem to get in foul trouble a lot. Obviously, his emotions run high too. Maybe there's a slight chance he could get ejected. You never know. You always got to take that into consideration with DeMarcus Cousins. There's obviously some risk involved, but I'm just going to prefer Boogie to Gasol. If you want to play both, I don't mind it, but if you're picking one of the two, I'm going to lean towards DeMarcus Cousins there. Fred VanVleet, so has been playing really well here the last few games. The minutes are just locked in. He's a guy that's going to play 35 minutes off the bench, basically no matter what. Now, he's not going to do a whole lot else besides score the ball. He'll pick up a rebound or two, a couple assists. He did pick up 3 steals. Don't think we can expect that again. He's a pretty solid defender, but I don't know. 6.2K, it seems like a lot to play for Fred VanVleet. I think I'll let others chase it. I know he's been playing really well, but again, if we look at guys priced similarly to him, I'm just going to prefer to pay the extra $1,000 here with DeMarcus Cousins to VanVleet. But, if you got 6.2K remaining, I don't have an issue with VanVleet. Iguodala, so I liked him when he was 4.6. Now he's up to 5.6, which seems priced about right. Obviously, there's definitely injury concern here. Got injured there in game 2 again, but came back. So there is risk here. The price seems about right. I think he's okay. Obviously, we got no Looney. And then Ibaka here at 4K. Played pretty well, but did get in some early foul trouble. Still only played 16 minutes. I would like it if he was playing closer to 25 minutes, but at 4K, doesn't have to do a whole lot. Maybe Marc Gasol gets in foul trouble. Ibaka gets more minutes. So I do like Ibaka here at 4K. Again, even if he plays only 17 minutes, he doesn't have to do a whole lot to get you there, and he's going to produce most of the time when he's out there. So I think Ibaka's pretty solid at 4K. Danny Green at 3.6. Just a guy I never play. The price has come down to a playable amount, though. At 5K, that was just absurd. Now he's down to 3.6. The guy's probably going to play 25 to 30 minutes, and if he can knock down a few threes, he can get you there. So I don't think he's the worst value play here. Quinn Cook, Livingston, not for me. The only way I'm going to consider these guys if Klay Thompson misses, then Quinn Cook and Livingston are definitely in play here. So if there's no Klay, I think Quinn Cook, Livingston, even McKinney will probably pick up some of those minutes. So again, the Klay Thompson news is huge. It's going to change the entire slate here. So definitely important to follow me on Twitter, guys. If you don't, I will be giving updates as soon as they come in. So yeah, if Klay plays, I'm just avoiding Quinn Cook and Livingston. I know both of them have been solid, but I would just avoid him if Klay does play. Norman Powell, so A little tough to predict here. Played 5 minutes and came out and played 21. The minutes have been all over the place for him. I don't know what to expect. Obviously, if he's going to play close to 20 minutes, he's a value guy that I have to consider at 2.4. If he's only going to play 5, then you can't. So it's just there's definitely some risk involved here with Norman Powell just because the minutes are so up in the air. Bogut, so with no Looney, picked up 7 minutes here, and I think Bogut's going to be a pretty solid value play here at 2.2. Obviously, I'd like it more if he was minimum salary, but Toronto likes running big. Again, I guess they're proving they want to give Gasol big minutes. With Boogie not out there, Bogut's their best defender to guard Gasol. So I think Bogut probably plays, if I had to guess, 10 to 15 minutes. And, he's going to produce when he's out there. So he's not going to need a whole lot to get you there too at 2.2. So Bogut is a really cheap guy that I am definitely considering here. McKinney at 2K. If Klay Thompson misses, he probably would play a few extra minutes, but I still don't think I could go there. It would be, Quinn Cook and Livingston that I would consider if there's no Klay. OG Anunoby, so they said he's going to be active but not play. He's lost weight. This is for game 2 at least. I don't expect him to play for game 3 unless I get news that he is going to, get minutes. So just crossing him off for now unless we get, news that he is going to play. Jordan Bell could be one of those guys that sneaks back into the rotation. Game 1 started, played 12 minutes. Game 2 didn't play at all. Kind of got exposed defensively. Marc Gasol played really well against him. So there's a lot of risk here. Maybe for making a lot of lineups, throw Jordan Bell in a couple of those. There's definitely still risk again. That he could get a DNP CD. But if he plays, if he plays 10 to 15 minutes, he's a value guy you had to consider. But I do think there is risk that he doesn't take the court. Same thing with Jerebko here. If he plays 10 to 15 minutes, then yes. Has played 8 and 6 minutes last 2 games. That's not going to be enough for me. So, but again, there's no Kevon Looney, so maybe Jerebko picks up a few extra minutes. You never know. So I think he's worth at least a shot if you're making multiple lineups. Damian Jones hasn't been in the rotation. A lot of these, everyone below here has not been in the rotation, and don't think we have to consider any of these guys. So again, brief overview. The Klay Thompson news is huge. So if he's out, I really like Draymond. I really like Steph. Probably locking those guys in. Even if Klay plays, I still like Draymond and Steph quite a bit here. Kawhi Leonard, obviously the offense runs through him, so I do like him as a spend up. Boogie's probably my favorite mid-tier guy. He's just going to produce who's out there. Obviously, the only risk here is the foul trouble, plus the slight chance he gets ejected. Value guys, I like Ibaka. I think Danny Green's okay. Quinn Cook and Livingston would be pretty solid here if Klay does miss. If Klay plays, probably not going to go there. Norman Powell, there's risk, but if he plays in that, close to 20 minutes, he's a guy you got to consider. Bogut, I think, is pretty solid here at 2.2. Again, I probably expect him to play 10 to 15 minutes. So I think he's pretty solid. And then Jordan Bell, Jerebko, pretty risky. But if you're making multiple lineups, maybe throw him in there for a couple. So yeah. I think that's it for today's video, guys. If you have been enjoying the content, please like this video, subscribe. If you have any questions, you can leave it in the comment section down below. Again, it's also really important to follow me on Twitter. I will have it in the description below. I give my thoughts as we get more news. So again, the Klay Thompson news is huge. And yeah, I'll be back for another video for Game 4. So I will see you guys then.